also answer polls. There are polls, right? So I'm starting the session, and I will be looking in the questions in some time, right? Let me know if you can see my screen. Just type a yes if you can see my screen. Can you see the PowerPoint data career exploration? Just confirm anyone. Can you see my screen as well? So I can start. Cool. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So today we are having this webinar, the second in the series, and as you know, that data is the new oil, right, which powers everything that we do. And I am Mohammad Arshad, founder of Decoding Data Science with 17 years of experience. I am trying to simplify data science and help people transition into this particular career, and focusing on what actually is really important. And that is my background and my passion. And now we will quickly start about today's webinar. We are going to talk about data, right? As you guys know, what is this all about? What is the career journey? How you can make a decision? Quick recap and an assessment for you guys. So, as you know, data, it has been there for a long time, and statistics has been there for a long time, right? But why there has been a lot of talk about data nowadays? Because there are two main factors. One is the hard drive cost per gigabyte has really decreased since the 1980s, right? Before, in my school days, we used to have a floppy disk, right, which only could save up to 1.44 MB. That was enough for our projects. But right now, we have a cloudless storage, we have unlimited storage. And as the cost is decreasing, the storage is also getting more and more easier for processing the data and storing the data for companies, right? And this is one reason why there is a burst of data, and people are using the data, and companies are also using it for their businesses. And the second thing is about internet, right? Internet has penetrated, and the internet speed has also become very good, and it has become affordable, so many people are using internet. And as you can see the next slide, this is 1 minute per day according to Domo, that is a research company. It has suggested that this much of data is getting generated every minute from some of the social media platforms that you can see. As we know, we have not covered everything, but this is the amount of data that is getting captured and being stored, and companies are actually using this data for their analysis. And it is not only transactional data, there are a lot of human files data, social interactions, and as well as the IoT data that is available. So as you can see, it has gone into zettabytes, that is 10 to the power more than 20. This is how the data is getting stored. And there is lot of information that companies are trying to get. So as you know, there is a lot of explosion and there is a lot of hype, right? And mainly these four things, as you know, when there is data, how can companies use data, right? So there are four types of data analytics that companies are actually using. One is the descriptive one. And as you grow in this career as a data science professional, you will have to go through all the stages in any project that you do. First time when you get the data, you need to understand what's happening in my business. You need to do a lot of descriptive analytics. That is the first part. And you can see there is a graph between value and complexity, right? So we see that there is less complexity, less value, but it is important. Diagnostic is like, why is it happening? We need to isolate the problem. Like, suppose there is a sales issue that is going on, we need to see in that week what was the issue. And is it because of any reason? So that is a diagnostic. And this is a why question that you need to answer to the business, that why this is happening. Here a lot of statistical tests come into the place. Hypothesis test, some the test according to the data that is available. And because of all these things, you need to uh, be very good in these statistic concepts to do become a good uh, diagnostic, to do good diagnostic analytics. The third one is the predictive. This is the little bit advanced part, like what is likely to happen in the future. Like, suppose you want to forecast the sales, and you want to forecast the any future events. So what happens, you need to first build models on the historical data, and then use those models to predict what can happen in the future. And this prediction is being used by the businesses. Here a lot of machine learning and all these things come into the picture. And the last and the most important one is the prescriptive. This is the basically the, it is something like a simulation recommendation based upon the steps or the action that a particular user is taking. It can be a it can be recommendation engines, or it can be marketing mix modeling, like which marketing channel we should spend our money, which will give the maximum return in sales. So these are simulation models that are being given to the business owners or the customers, if it is in any app, like as I told you, recommendation engine or all those things. It makes instant decision, which uses the historical data and does the scoring of the models immediately. And this is very useful in nowadays, because business wants instant decisions, right? So the prescriptive analytics is very important, and it is the last, you can say, in complexity, last phase in the complexity, as well as in the value that we give. Now I'll go back to the chat and see if we have any questions before I move on to the next section. Amazing. So let me see. Okay, people are answering. So guys, till now you have any questions, you can put in the chat about this thing. I will be looking in the chat after every section, and I can give an answer. Till then, you can also answer the poll that is there in the next to your chat option, and I will continue as of now there is no question, right? So now, how do companies use the data, right? Now we understood there is lot of data. You can see that there is I have put six. Let me see whether, yeah, I have put six use cases for companies to use data, but there can be much more, you guys. There can be much more, because I these six are really relevant nowadays, and it is used in many of the industries. For me personally, with my experience, I feel these are the six areas where data can be used by companies, and they are using it in a you can say very good manner. One is the product design and development, right? You any product that you make, any app, any website, you need to do a lot of testing, concept testing, surveys, some data analysis, market analysis, A/B testing. So it is, and when you're building phases by phases, you need to validate your hypothesis that whatever you are building. Planning and procuring is basically before you start production, before you do any work, you need to do a lot of planning and procuring of raw materials, and making sure, planning every what is the forecast going to be, how much inventory you are going to have to make that particular product, and all the planning and procuring things pre actual production, right? So because you can see there are two things, one is planning and procuring, and the second one is manufacturing, distribution, and logistic. Once you start the production in the factories or in the business, any business, you need to have the make sure that the manufacturing within the different components is going on very well. After that, the distribution of that particular product is very well. Even there are two types of supply chain, one is outward and one is inward. Like within, to make that particular product, you need to have a lot of uh, s- uh, segments, right? One, like suppose the mobile phone, it has more than 2000 uh, parts, and that parts are being manufactured by different places, and different companies. And you need to optimize that supply chain, because you don't want an extra amount of a particular piece, because as you know, if a new model comes and if you're not using it, it is a waste for the company. So these things are very important. And to be honest, in these three, analytics has been used since last 10-15 years, and it is very much matured. And companies analytics is a part of these companies. It is a major function in these companies, and the companies use the data very very much. It's like it's in their DNA to use the data. The fourth one is the revenue growth, because every company is working for money. Every company has revenue, right? It has to make money, so they have to do a lot of revenue analysis, how to, which category is giving more money, uh, the pricing analytics, which products should be priced at what, so that they can optimize their revenue, not make people go away from the product, but also when they buy, they can also make some good margin. Promotion optimization and measurement of whatever activities they are going in respect to the revenue. These, the last two, actually have been in the last years, have really been very much used, because of the increase in the data that I showed you earlier, right? Because of all these online data and digital marketing data that is available, as of now, companies have lot of data to play and get do sales and marketing. And specifically the online space, as you know, there are a lot of companies online, and they are using digital marketing to get lead and to build businesses out of that. And there is a lot of data, lot of ads that are going around. This is one part, sales and marketing, everything is covered here. And the second one is the consumer insights. As we know, we are the customers, and we have lot of data online, we have lot of footprints online. So companies can understand the customer very well, and they can, as you know, for companies, getting a acquisition is easy, but to maintain that customer in their ecosystem is tough. So they need to make sure they have a good loyalty system. They understand the voice of the customer by surveys and the behavior, about the behavior. If they are able to predict when they are going to leave their ecosystem, they can give them good offers and retain them. So lot of data has been generated, and lot of companies are actually using in these two phases their data analytics, right? So before I move to the next session, let me see if we have any questions. Great. We don't have any questions. So there are a lot of people more joining in. Thank you. Don't worry if you are late. You can always see the recording, which I will share. And if any questions, the guys who have joined, they can put it in the chat. And there is a poll that have a try to put the poll as well, right? So now I will go to the if any questions, please put it. I will keep looking it at every section, right? So now about the career journey for data science. So according to my experience, and right now what I feel, there are majorly three areas, categories. As of now, if a people wants to start their data science journey, right? Many of you, when I saw the poll, what they mentioned is they want to be data scientists. No one wants to be a data engineer here. uh, Majorly, five people have voted, three are telling data science and two are telling data analyst. BI engineer no one, and data engineer also no one. So but as we know, right now, as I talk, these are the main three segments that are there, main categories that as there is no official definition of this category. These things are, data engineering is really a 1 year or 2 years old uh, term that is being used, right? Back in my career, when I started, there was nothing like data engineering. It was a data analyst who used to do everything. And there was database administrator, if you might have heard, who the people who are responsible for the database, to make sure that the data that is coming is fine. But this term data engineering is very recent, and you guys need to understand this, the importance of this as well. Data analyst uh, is a person who does descriptive and diagnostic analytics, which I told here, right? A data analyst is the person who is also using lot of statistics and analytics to do mainly descriptive and diagnostic analytics. So this is a one of the starting points for most of the careers. And many people who ask me, who are from the non tech background, who have no programming knowledge, I suggest them to start with a data analyst category. And the third one is the data scientist. They are doing the predictive and the prescriptive analytics. Basically, they are applying the machine learning to for the businesses. And I hope these three categories are clear. Data engineering is one of the hottest right now, to be honest, for entry level. Right now, if you have a good coding background, because as you I showed you in the earlier slide, that data is coming from multiple sources, and data engineers responsibility is to make sure that the data that is coming from these sources are aggregated at a proper level, and they are updated at the database at a daily level, so that data analysts and data scientists can use that data for any business value. So to be honest, data engineering is a very hot field right now, and many companies are actually looking for data engineering, and it is a very technical role. You need to learn a lot of do a lot of coding, but it is what is the market is as of now looking for. And we will talk more about this in the next slides. So this is a career path that generally it happens, I have seen, and this is uh, the data engineers and database administrators are the basically, when I say junior and senior, it is anywhere between 0 to 5 years. They work in this field, they gain experience, and then they move on into become lead data engineers or senior data architects, and they are in majorly responsible for all the data coming into the systems and to make sure that it is usable by the data science professionals. The data analyst and the business analyst are the ones who get promoted to lead business analyst or analytics manager. They are the people who are responsible for doing lot of data storytelling. They to make sure that they are getting value out of the data and telling the business about what is happening. And the last one, which is the most hot in the market as well, are the statisticians, the machine learning engineers. They are the ones who are responsible to do applied machine learning algorithms, to do predictive forecasting and all the simulation models that I talked about earlier. And then they get promoted, and they move to the career path to become lead data scientists or data science managers. So data science managers is also the one who is responsible for end to end, making sure the data is coming from the source to the database and doing analysis and building a whole product out of the whole data ecosystem. So this is a broadly thin line you can see between all these four areas, six areas that you can see, and a person can move crisscross according to their uh, position, right? If they are very highly motivated, if they can show their skills in a particular data science project, they can always move from a data analyst to a data scientist position, right? They have to showcase and they have to build projects and show that they are worthy enough, and they can, this is a very thin line, and it is very, you can always become good in a particular role, and then you can always shift. As you know, data science is it's a long journey, right? You need to keep learning, keep evolving. And that is what I suggest to all my mentees, that you need to it's not that when you once you become a data engineer, you cannot work for 5 years in data engineering and then you cannot become a data scientist. It is not the case. You can always shift. You need to learn the parts that is statisticians or data science people want, and then you can always showcase your knowledge, because the main skills that are required in all those things you will already have, right? You will have a good understanding of the data behind the scenes, and you can progress to become a good data scientist as well. So quickly, I will, before making a decision, I will if there are any questions, let me see the chat. For data engineering, I will go through the steps that you need to follow. Hello. I think there was some issue. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, there was some issue. I just got logged out. Yeah, Jagriti Singh, I will take your question. Let me see the position. Yeah, I think I got lost in the middle. Uh, yeah, cool. So let me share my screen again. I was talking about the data engineering part, right? Uh, so for data engineering part, there are mainly these are the four skills that are actually required. You need to be good in the domain expertise. You need to have a strong working knowledge of the tools and the platforms that are there. Strong I mentioned because you need to be very good in getting the data right. You need to be and that is a very important thing that is required in a data engineering jobs. Curiosity should be there for exploration. You need to be curious for exploring the data, and you should have a knack for the problem solving that is there. Because as you know, in data engineering, every time there is a new challenge, there is a new type of data source, there is some issues in the data, so you need to always be on the top of it. For data analyst, right, for data analyst you need to have a strong domain expertise, because you need to do a lot of data analysis. You need to learn about the data. You should have a strong working knowledge of the tools here. Less than the data engineer, but you should have, because you need to write a lot of SQL command, Python command, to or maybe use dashboards like Tableau or Power BI. It depends upon the business and the project. And then you need to do a quick analysis and basic statistical knowledge. As I told you, for any data analysis, you need to have hypothesis and you need to validate that, right? And for that, you need some statistical knowledge. And you should also have a knack for problem solving, and also you need to tell stories from the data. And quickly for the third one, before I take questions, is the data scientist. This it should he should be strong in everything that is there. And other than that, he should have an skill about applied machine learning. So we know machine learning, we know statistics, we know all the data that is there. How we can use machine learning to help the business. This is a very important skill that is missing in many of the new data scientists, is how they can use ML to bring out business value. And that is the thing which is really important and being tested in most of the interviews. Okay, now before I come to the tool and techniques, I'll just answer some questions in the chat. First, let me take questions from Jagriti Singh, right? Okay, so Jagriti mentions that I am a computer engineer with an MBA degree as a researcher in the area of net zero, but now I am want to move to MNC. Okay, so I think when I talked about, so you already have some computer engineering background, you already have some business knowledge, you have some experience. Now, Jagriti, this slide, just have a look at this slide. Uh, so right now, you are working as a researcher, right? I am working as a researcher. So to be honest, you are not still part of the business side, right? You are this researcher is so you need to first identify from this path where you can get in. With your experience, you have two options to get in. You need to get in as a job as a data analyst in a MNC, in a company, because right now research is very much different from real business data, right? So you need to think how are your strengths. There is an assessment at the end of my session which I will share with you, Jagriti. You need to see, you need to start in any company as a data analyst and a statistician. And if you are to apply for jobs, you need to have a good project. So you can get in touch with me, should build your profile, get a good project, and then start applying. In I will suggest data analyst or statistician type of roles. You have to try to get in. And for that, you need to show a good end-to-end project that you have done. Maybe I'm not sure if you have done in your research project, but outside that, you need to show a very good project. Talk about that to that company and start applying. So that is the how you will get in. And the path basically for you, as you told, it will be from a statistician or a data scientist, junior data scientist, to a lead data scientist or a data science manager in the next 5 to 7 years. So that, I hope I answered this particular thing. So now, Zishan, I have a non-technical background. So now for you, Zishan, the best thing is to get a data analyst. Now, for the tools that I will tell you, the slide that was here, I this is the slide that I did not talk about, but this will answer most of your questions, Zishan. For data analyst, you can see these are the things that are there. Domain knowledge, you need to have some domain knowledge for that particular industry you are applying to. As you are a fresher, let me see if you're a fresher or okay, you Zishan is if you are not a fresher, then you need to understand that you need to learn about some industry you in which you are applying for, like it's a retail industry or any industry that you want to apply. Learn something, because they may ask you some questions about that. Basic SQL, Tableau, Power BI, these are the basic you should know. Some of the cloud platforms, at least you should try to see how it looks, because most of the data is in the cloud platforms. Basic statistics, you should know. As I told you, you should learn these things. And Excel should be good in everything. I have mentioned advanced Excel, because Excel is a tool which you need, is the first, you can say, first point for every data people, right? Whenever they have a data, they do any analysis, they do it on Excel. So you have to be very good in Excel. Why advanced? Because the better you are in Excel, the quicker you can do the analysis, correct? So before I go into questions, I'll just, you can just see the slide. Majorly, data scientist has all the skills that are required, except big data, data pipelines, web scraping. They have domain knowledge, everything advanced. Storytelling should be there in data analyst as well as a data scientist. Basic dashboarding skills, machine learning skills. ML ops is actually coming up, right? End-to-end deployment, which is a combination of software engineering plus machine learning and data science type of role. So it is a very, you can say something like a full stack data scientist. This will come with experience, right? You may not, you have to build this slowly and slowly. For junior roles, these are not required, but for senior roles, the last three are basically ML ops, deep learning is majorly for the advanced roles that are there. And now these are the basic things that are there. Now let me see. Soft skills, you know, right? To be honest, for a data career, soft skill is also very important, because you have to talk to the business. So whatever I'm talking about here is business analytics, because there is where money is, right? There is where you may get a job. So you need to have a very good communication skills and understand what is the requirement, how you can use the data to help the business. So these are some of the skills that are there according to the seniority on the and the position. Some of the skills in the later part are very important. Accuracy is very important, because this is credibility. There is one more soft skill that is also there, that is credibility, which I not mention here, because you have to build your credibility in the business, that this data person, whatever he is giving me, is coming from the back end, from the data, and it is accurate, and I have to believe that, and we need to make decisions according to that. Okay, so these are some of the skills that are there. Now I will take questions. Now you can put all the questions in the chat one by one. uh, now Zishan is telling that he's in the logistic industry for more than 5 years. Okay, and Jagriti mentioned that I have some publications. That is good. Now try to make a project using the whatever you have learned, because publications, uh, companies want to know what business impact your project has got, or some monetary value that is there. So try to mm, make some good project and try to start applying for data analyst. And if it is what is stopping you from applying, because you already have good background, right? So what are the challenges that you are facing in applying? If you have anything specific, do let me know. For Zishan, basically he's mentioning he's in logistic industry. And before I answer Zishan, there are around 9 people in the call. Guys, please type in your questions. The slides I have quickly shared with you. I don't want to repeat the slides. It is you can always see the recording. Just ask me your specific questions that are there, so that I can help you answer your questions, right? So for Zishan, he is mentioning, so you need to understand about logistic industry. So you are good in logistic industry. You have 5 years, so you will know what are the pain points that a logistic company is having, and how you can solve it by using data. So you will have lot of data, right, for logistic company, like when is the packets coming, when it is going, how much is the delay in delivery. So from that, like, understand that perspective about domain, how data can be used to help solve any business challenges that you guys are facing in your logistic industry. So that is how you build. To be honest, you have 5 years experience, so you will be called a domain expert in logistics. So that is a good thing for you. Now you have to focus on the other skills that are there. Like, suppose if you want to be a data analyst, as your for your experience, you already have a good domain expertise in logistics. You have to build your focus on working knowledge of tools, basic statistical knowledge. Apply these concepts that you learn, build a small project, start applying. That is what I will tell you. Yeah, so Jagriti, now this is very specific to you. You need to get into a call with me. I have to understand what research you are doing. Like I explained about Zishan, right? You have to pick at industry. You have to pick up. There are more some segments you need to focus on, and start from there. Having a good domain knowledge is very important, right? Because you like in case of Zishan, he already has 5 years experience in logistic. Suppose he is applying for a job in a company that requires supply chain analytics. With him having 5 years experience and a person not having experience in logistic, he will be given more preference because of his business knowledge. So you need to build some uh, skill and some differentiation. That is very important. And why I'm telling you all this and why am I doing all these sessions is because there is lot of right, uh, recession is coming up. There are a lot of people who are in the job market already wanting, and there is a lot of competition. So you guys who want to get into the data field, they need to be very strong, they need to be differentiative, and they have to uh, uh, have something unique in their profile. And to be honest, some of the skills that I mentioned here, you have to be good in those skills, right? You need to be good in these skills. Jagriti was mentioning, you're brushing up your your coding skills. So when they say that you know SQL, you should know SQL, you should know CT, you should know subquery, you should know advanced SQL. Then only you can tell that you know SQL. You cannot go in an interview and tell, I just know basic, I just know little, I just know little Python, little SQL. That will not work. When you say I know SQL, you should know end to end what is required in data science. Python, what is required in data science, you should know it very well. You should know the libraries, you should have used the libraries. In the middle, if you say I just know, I can pick up, and all those things will not work in nowadays market. Now coming to Muhammad Mubin. So he is already a statistician. That is great. R To be honest, if I will tell you, if you are learning any programming language, Mubin, please do it in Python. R is there is future, there is very less future for R, and R is very much it is not it is used in research companies and in some of the companies, but Python, to be honest, is very much interportable. You suppose you are using AWS, suppose you're using GCP, all these platforms, you can really code in Python. And it is a good thing to master one language. That's why in my course I only focus on Python, because the data science industry, there is so much, right? You need to focus. You need to focus on important things and become good at it. So when I was telling earlier, you have to be good in Python. Okay, so focus on one language and be very good at it. Know everything that has to be done in that. Don't learn R also, Python also. It will confuse you and you will not be anywhere. After you get a job, after few years, when you're good in Python, then you can always pick up R, SAS, SPSS, whatever you want. But to get a job, to start proving your capability, be good at least basic of the tools. So now for basic of the tools, I will just tell you about the thing that I have in my course that I take for. I only focus on six things that are there. So till the page is opening, I will. I only focus on these six things, to be honest, and this is the one that is really helpful. Excel for data science, BI, one tool I pick up, and everything is around 8 hours classes, which is only focused on what is really important. SQL, these are the things that are really important for data science jobs. You should be good in all these things. Statistics and maths, you all know, is very important. So these are but these five things you have to be very good at applying this for any data analysis. Python, basic Python, and Python for machine learning specific to the data libraries that are there, like NumPy, Panda, and all those things. And for basic machine learning, you have to be good in this. If you are good in this, you know the mathematics behind this, you can pick up the advanced ones very quickly. So if this is whole is around 69 modules. If you are good in this 69 modules, it is very easy for anyone to get a job, and many of them already have got a job just by focusing on these six modules and 69 sub modules that are there. So that's why you should not to if you are starting for leave R for now and focus on Python. And how should I prepare? So the if I'm announce that next webinar on next Saturday. So every Saturday, same time, or maybe I will shift the time in evening because people in the US and UK cannot join. I'm going to talk about building a data science portfolio. I'm going to talk about one of the portfolio of a fresher, and how that particular person has built a very good portfolio and he's applying for jobs, and that is one of the benchmarks that everyone should have. And so next week I'm going to talk about that. I will put the link today for that webinar, and tomorrow next week, next Saturday, it will be a data science portfolio webinar, and I will request you to please join that for how to make a portfolio. And if you want anything one-to-one specific, Mubin, you can always book a call with me on my website, and then we can talk more about that as well, right? I hope I answered you. Now coming to Anjum, right? Anjum's question is, I have done my graduation in engineering. I have experience in teaching. I have upskilled in Python or SQL. So if you are saying engineering, is it computer engineering, Anjum? If it is, and teaching experience does not help you to get you a data science job. So Zisha, no, WhatsApp I have not started right now, but I have built a community in FreshLearn, and please. I think you share me your email in the chat, so that I think I have all added the guys who have registered in this webinar. I have added them to my newsletter, and LinkedIn is the major place where you can. I'm sure all of you have come to me through LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn is a place where most of you are getting updated about what I do. But I am trying to do something about one more group that is there. Let's see how it goes. Thanks for putting me your email. But some of them who have registered using this email ID in this webinar, I have already added them, and you might have gotten let email from Decoding Data Science. If not, I will again check for these two email IDs. Now about uh, Anjum, right? Electronics and communication. So you need to focus on, again, I will tell you. uh, for you again, you're not a computer science background, so I will tell you to start getting into the data analyst piece, right? The data analyst, this part, the data analyst part, wherein you are going to do diagnostic and prescriptive diagnostic and descriptive analytics. So that is a good point for you, Anjum. Learn some of the basic things that are there, become good in Python, SQL, one dashboard, and try to build a nice project. So for the project, I will not talk more now because it becomes one more complete different session. But make a good project, right, which is very unique, something that you get, try to get the data by yourself. And then uh, one example I can give you for some of my mentees, they have done, right? uh, about the Indian army. Suppose anyone they is tweeting about the Indian army, so from that they collect all the he wanted to know whether the sentiment about that is positive or negative. If it is negative, they wanted to flag it. So he went into Twitter, got all the data that talked about Indian army, and some of the synonyms that was there. He identified that, got the data in the database, did a naive bayes algorithm, and scored every tweet as whether it is a positive, whether it is a negative, or whether it is a neutral. So this one example, there are hundreds of examples, but this thing was unique, right? He was the one who got the data. He built a small code wherein with Twitter API he got the data. Then he analyzed the data, and any new tweet that is coming daily, he using the same machine learning algorithm that was built on prehistorical data, we just scored whether this tweet is a neutral po- or a positive tweet or a negative tweet. If it's negative tweet, it will flag that tweet and send an email alert. Simple. I'm taking an next week one more session in which I'll talk about a good ideal portfolio, ideal resume, and that is one thing that is there. So now Jagriti is mentioning about opinion mining. So yeah, you can do something like that. You can build some project like that and talk about that in your interviews. Uh, so now I have Hussein, Prashant. Anyone else? You have any questions? Mohammed, Muzaffin. Just let me know. I can take specific questions, or we can end the call if we don't have anything. Stay tuned. So this the motive behind this webinar, to be honest guys, is many people ask me on LinkedIn questions. I don't have so much time to answer individually everyone. The simple motive for this webinar, again I want to tell to all of you, thanks for joining first of all, is come to the I will take around 30 to 40 minutes. I will talk about a topic, a general topic. I don't want to go in technical topic right now because there is a lot of confusion in the market. From my experience, I will try to give my best knowledge that I have, answer everyone's question. You guys have joined the live session, so you are entitled to ask me questions, and I will try to give you an answer. I cannot go into a lot of details, but I will try to give my from my experience the best answer. So you can use the time. I have few minutes more. So Hussein, you cannot get internship unless you have proven yourself. You have to build a good project. You have to build a product. No one is going to give you any internship. You have to build your own project. You have to try to get data, try to understand a business problem, try to build. No one is going to hire an intern and give him projects, because they have to teach him, they have to make sure that he knows well. They have to that is why internship does not work in data science. To be honest, I don't have time to teach people and give them projects and monitor that how they are doing, because it is very critical. Right, any live company will not give an intern an opportunity to just directly start working without him proving himself. So Hussein, you need to first prove yourself by building a very good project, build a good profile, build a good LinkedIn profile. As you can all see, right, uh, how the main thing that I have done is The main thing I have done in my whole career is to build a good LinkedIn profile. I started this, to be honest, less than 2 years, 1.5 years back, and now I have around 32,000 followers. And now I don't apply for jobs. I don't apply for any jobs. Uh, Recruiters reach out to me, and this has not happened overnight. It has happened because I have talked about it. I have, every day I post some content, I post something, some knowledge. I have built many projects, I have built on my own. And that is how you have to build, and then you have to showcase, and then you have to talk about your project, right? So once you made a project, do a demo recording of your project, and then you put it on YouTube, on LinkedIn. People will see that, and if someone wants to hire a junior data analyst, they will directly talk to you, they will ping you, they will comment you. uh, so that is the thing that you need to do. You need to That's why I tell my mentees, build your brand. Nowadays in this economy, you really need to build your brand, right? I know it is tough. Yeah, and actually, to be honest, Hussein, it is right now the world is very unfair. A lot of competition is going on. Okay, many people who are don't who are interns, who are from degrees, they are very good, but you need to, as I was telling earlier, to get a job, you need to get an first of all an opportunity, and for getting an opportunity, you need to prove yourself. You have built three. No, Kaggle datasets is useless. If you are following me on LinkedIn, Kaggle datasets is useless. That everyone is doing using Kaggle datasets. You have to get your own data. Try to do something unique, Hussein. And if you see, you're already trying a lot, right? You told me I'm a beginner. You have to keep trying. Keep searching for opportunities. uh, if you don't have any experience and you're as a fresher, then you please start doing some open source projects, right? You can go and apply in Omdena. There are some platforms, and you can start doing open source projects for free. Build your portfolio. Okay. uh, don't give That's why in the next join the next session, I will request you all, please look out for my mails. Next session is very important, data science portfolio. Uh, Many people who say that they have a strong resume, uh, but you are saying that you don't have internship. So how can you have a strong resume without an internship? Get an internship. There are a lot of AI for good Omdena projects that are there, that are unpaid internships that are available. Try to get something like that. Then only your resume will be strong. Without internship, your resume is not at all strong. I know students who are freshers, engineering colleges, they have done 4 to 5 internships being in the engineering college. Before, just before passing out, they have 4 to 5 internships. They have done these small projects for this open source project, and they have shown that. So Hussein, get in touch with me later on. Talk to me. uh, Join the next webinar. Kaggle projects are not at all useful, because I have seen many people are using the same Kaggle data sets. The insights are the same. It does not help so much to show your skills. The market is very competitive right now, and you will understand because you will see how it is going. That There is a lot of competition, and focus on learning and building your brand. And one thing before I end, one key thing that you guys can take, other than whatever I showed you here, is uh, take it as a journey. Everything you have to every day what you're doing, learn, progress, learn from your mistakes, and try to apply whatever you're learning in a project, good project, that you can talk about in your interview, from starting phase, data collection phase, to the deployment phase, or to the simulation phase. Take time, build a good project. If you guys are freshers and you want to, that is one key message I can give. I have told this to all my mentees many times. Some people take it seriously and go ahead. Some people just ignore and just go that. So this is what one message I will give you from my experience. So I my website is here, right? You My LinkedIn is there, all the details are there on my LinkedIn. This is the you can see my LinkedIn page. I'm sure you most of you have come through LinkedIn. Go to my LinkedIn page. So what I have done is I have done a link tree, right? There is a link tree with all the options that are there. So these are the link tree options. So if you are in India, then you have to book this one. If you are outside India, because of the payment issues, I have done this. This option is there, and these are the different platforms that I am. People, someone asked me how to connect with me, right? So this is the my universe right now. I will later on create a WhatsApp group or Telegram. Later on, let's see, because I'm not doing it because. Uh, uh, I have to find out a better way to do it. But these are the way you can connect with me. But look out for more webinars like this. And I talk the real facts that are there in the industry. Most of you know how tough the market is, and that's why you are in this call as well. So try to learn, try to build a good portfolio, and try best of luck for all your endeavors. And I will again request everyone, thanks a lot for joining this call, this webinar. This is the second webinar, topmate. I'm doing it the first time. Before that, I used to do it in Teams. This is the second free webinar that I'm hosting every week. uh, if you try to join in for different topics that I will do, if possible, it will be great if you can. You will be getting a link about feedback or testimonial. If this was a little helpful for you, please give a good feedback so that others can also benefit from it. Let me see about the recording. I'm doing recording from this tool. Whether it will be, if I can download it and share it with you guys in YouTube or something, it will be good as well. And before I end, thank you again. Any questions before, any other questions anyone else of you have? I think I've tried answered everyone whatever I could. For more discussions, you can get in touch with me. Prashant, don't ask any questions, but I hope, Prashant, you are getting the whole idea about my message, right? And thanks everyone again for joining. Have a great day. And thanks. Looking forward to talk to you one on one or in the next webinar. And have a great day, and hope this session was helpful for you guys. Bye bye. Happy weekend. Bye bye.